Hey YouTube, today we are talking about how to get paid faster by your customers. So if you're struggling to get money in the door, stick around. This video is going to address that right now. The first step to getting paid really fast is to have such a good product or service that your customers are almost honored to pay you, that they want to pay you quickly. Think about it, the vendors that you pay money to, if they just kind of get by, just do okay, you wait as long as you can to pay them. You extend that cash payment. But if you have a vendor that is just putting their heart and soul into everything that they do for you, they know your business, they're giving it all they got, you almost want to pay them early so that they stick around and keep doing good work for you, because those kinds of people are hard to find. So that's step number one. Put your heart and soul into your product or service, and people will pay you quickly. Step number two is to take as much friction out of the transaction as possible. So for example, in my company, when I first got started, I was invoicing all of my customers and they just weren't paying on time, and it was killing me because I couldn't take my own paycheck. I was staying up late at night wondering when I was gonna get money in the door. And one night I was sitting on the couch with my wife and I threw my hands in the air and I said, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm gonna make the decision that tomorrow, the only way I get paid is by doing bank drafts. I'm not invoicing anything ever again because I can't do this. And my wife thought I was, she was worried because that all of the clients would leave, and so was I. But I sent out an email the very next day and said, I really appreciate you being a client. I'm super honored. To make things easier so that I can spend more time working on your account versus my administrative tasks, please sign this form so that we can do bank drafts every month and pick the day that you want to make your payment. The funny thing is that nobody canceled. In fact, I got a lot of emails from people saying this is way better because now I don't have to deal with invoices and checks and signing stuff. It'll just happen and we can get on with what we do. So if your business allows for that, consider doing bank drafts, because that got rid of all of the friction for my customers. If you have to send invoices to your customers, and most businesses do, I understand that, the goal is to remove as much friction as possible in that process. So here is a basic map to help you out. The first thing that you need to do is determine how you're going to capture your data. Have your staff enter their time and expenses into a software of some kind so that you can get access to it easily. Don't have them entering it on paper. If you're doing that, there's no wonder why your invoicing is taking so long. Also, assign a due date. In this case, we're going to go for the 25th of every month. The next step is to process the data. Have your bookkeeper log into the software to grab the time and expense information and create invoices. Also give your bookkeeper a due date, in this case the 30th of each month, to make sure that stuff gets in on a timely manner. The next step is to approve the invoices. This needs to be done by you or the manager, and also give it a due date. In this case, we're going to do it on the 1st of every month. And now for the exciting bit. We're sending out invoices. This should be done by your bookkeeper and give them a due date. In this case, we're sending them out on the 1st, same day that you approve the invoices. Last but not least, collections. If your customer doesn't pay on time, your bookkeeper or the project manager needs to make a call. We've set this to happen 15 days out from when we set up the invoice. So what happens if, despite all of your best efforts, they don't pay on time, or they take like 6 years to pay you? And that's going to happen. So one of the things I always tell all of my clients is to put 10% of every dollar you make into a savings account and just leave it there to build savings and wealth. And it's going to kind of buffer you through the hard times in life. Because you know what? Customers aren't going to pay you, even if they love you. And sometimes they might go out of business or who knows what. So make sure you have a catastrophe plan in place and you keep things floating. Now, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in the section down below. I will be answering each one of those, and I would also love to hear any tips or tricks that you might have that you've learned over the years in your own business that have helped you invoice faster and speed things up. We can all benefit from what you know. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and click subscribe. That'll give you access to all of the future videos that we create. And we're always here to help you and answer your questions so that you can master your company finances.